Attention all, attention. I'd like to give a toast to the bride and groom. On this special occasion, I'd like to share a couple of words about Thomas and Briana. Some of you know Thomas, some of you know Briana. A few of you know them both, but I'm willing to bet that none of you have heard the story that I'm about to share. Hi, I'm Jared Smith, and I've known Thomas since I was 6 years old. We soon became great friends, and it's not surprising that with names like Thomas and Jared, we've developed a relationship comparable to Tom and Jerry. So on this special occasion, I would like to share some experiences I've had with Thomas, then share a never before heard story about Thomas and Briana. But first, I'd like to tell some thank yous. On behalf of Thomas and Briana, I'd like to thank all those who have helped in the wedding preparations. I'd also like to thank the friends and family that have traveled near and far to come to this wedding. Jeff and Kathy, you have raised a phenomenal daughter. I've known Briana personally, and I can assure you that she is a wonderful person, and I have nothing but the best of comments to make about her. Todd and Paula, you have raised a wonderful son and a great friend for me. The words that come to my mind that describe Thomas are trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and yes, even reverent. Thomas, you always were a great scout. So, me and Thomas have had some wonderful moments, and I'd like to share a couple of those with you today. We've had some funny moments together. I remember the time in grade school where we were getting our yearly photos taken in the fall. The professional photographer sat Thomas down, told him how to pose, and then had him look at the camera. Instead of her telling him to say cheese, she told him to say turkey. And so Thomas did. He said turkey for the picture. And the photographer caught him right in the middle of the word, Turk. And that's how his third grade picture turned out. Later, I remember when we were 16, actually Thomas was 16 and I was still 15. And Thomas began driving and began practicing driving his family's truck, which is a manual. I remember the summer night when we wanted to go somewhere, but Thomas was a little uncertain about driving the manual. So we took a stop at the church parking lot, and he practiced starting up the manual from 0 to second gear. And we stalled a lot of times. And it would have been okay if we were the only ones there. But of course, there were two girls walking across the church parking lot who saw the whole event and giggled the whole time they were watching it. Of course, our life hasn't been full of embarrassing moments. I remember Thomas's shining moments. Like the time his backup lip singing helped my lead lip syncing, and we won the lip singing contest. Later, when we were playing football, I remember when Thomas barreled into the end zone with the football that he had caught, which I had thrown. That was a great moment. And later, as a junior in high school, I remember Thomas announcing the Powder Puff football game. Afterwards, after the game had ended, he rallied the girl athletes to dump the cooler on their heralded coach for the impressive game. I sure did enjoy the cold water, Thomas. So, Paula, you have raised a great son. Thanks for being my second mother. Now to the story which I promised I'd tell. Before I tell you the story, there's a detail that you must understand. Thomas and Briana met as sophomores in high school. Relatively soon, they began liking each other from a distance, and then a shorter distance, and then they began dating, and the rest is history. So The reason why my story has never been told before is because it was almost forgotten entirely after it happened. The reason for that is because there's only 100 people that care to pick up the school newspaper at our high school. And of those 100 people, 95% of them don't make it past the pictures. In 2010, Thomas, being a junior, read an editorial to the school newspaper. I thought it would be very appropriate to read this excerpt that I found in my journal just 2 months ago. Dear editor, I would like to make a modest proposal to all of the guys in the school to give up on girls and replace their feelings for girls with feelings for food. Girls will build you up one day and then crush you the next, and then do it over and over again in a vicious daily cycle until you completely give up on liking girls for good. Furthermore, any money spent on girls in high school is only money wasted on another man's wife. I don't plan on finding my wife in high school, so what then is the point of singling out a girl to attempt to win over? Endless frustration and wasted youth is spent on the pursuit of a female companion in high school. Anyways, men of Brighton, to maintain our good name and our dignity, let's all give up on girls and start falling for food. Please raise your glasses for this last part. Thomas and Briana, as far as I'm concerned, there's only one rule in life, and that is that there's an exception to every rule, except for that rule. Thomas and Briana, your union and your marriage today is an exception to Thomas's own editorial and philosophy. May you be blessed with exceptional joy and happiness as you embark on a new life together. A toast to Thomas and Briana, my dear friends, the high school sweethearts, the exceptional exceptions.